years, I was vilified, attacked, smeared, threatened, gagged, lynched, condemned to death because I refused to give in to the pressure to testify falsely against my friend of 42 years, Donald J. Trump.
You were pardoned by the president for lying and coordinating the release of emails with the Russians. There are photographs of you being security, Proud Boys and Oath Keepers doing security for you on January. I mean, these people, these are the, like I said, this is the bottom feeders. This is the lowest of the low. These are the most inappropriate people that we have in our country, and they have been given an inordinate amount of media time and positions of power and microphones and voices and direct access to the White House and the President of the United States of America. I mean, honestly, this is madness. And why do they do? They want to take away everybody's civil rights, and that includes the right to vote. It includes the right to move freely about the country. I mean, look at them. They are literally stopping legislation that would simply say that in the United States of America, women are free to cross state lines. Can you believe that's how low we've gone? We have slave patrols instead of police departments. The idea that, we all saw the Uvalde response, okay? That's everything Texas had to throw at it, okay? That was local, that was state, that was border patrol. I mean, you name it, they responded. And not one single person had any initiative at all with an active shooter slaughtering 19 babies and 2 teachers. And then the one police officer whose wife was one of those teachers was arrested for trying to go into her classroom and save her and her students. I mean, you got to ask yourself, what the hell was that about? Why are the police in this country saying, we don't respond? You're on your own. We don't respond to anything. I mean, we had this mall shooting. Do you see this one in Indiana? Where a 20-year-old shooter was in the bathroom, getting ready to go and shoot up the food court. And a 22-year-old, and they're saying a legally armed 22-year-old actually got into a gunfight with the 20-year-old. And the 22-year-old prevailed, and this was a good result for the United States. Gunfights in shopping malls. That was a great result. Now this 22-year-old, he's a hero. You're going to find out that the 20-year-old also legally owned his gun. So really, what is this is crazy. This is madness. This is a race to the freaking bottom of the barrel. And I got a really scary question for you. What if they win? You understand we can't let that happen. You know that. In your gut, you know that. You know that we cannot roll back civil rights and get a good result. We can't roll back the freedom to move between the states for women and have a good result. We will have domestic apartheid just like we did at the founding. Like I said, when this country was founded, it was an uneasy alliance between slave states and free states, and the free states prevailed last time. But what's going to happen this time? They're disrupting all of our freedoms, all of our civil rights. Their laws in red states are entirely different than our laws in blue states. And I live in a red state, but I'm a blue state person. I'm a New Yorker, and I know the difference. And believe me, there is no way you could tell a New Yorker that they're not free to go to New Jersey and that be okay. That would never fly. It would never be okay. That would never happen. You don't tell a girl from Brooklyn she can't go to Trenton, or you don't tell a girl from Passaic that she can't go to Queens. I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's so unbelievable, and yet This is it. This is where the middle of America is. This is where the South is. It's okay to stop a woman from going, from one state to another. Entirely different laws, entirely different systems of governing, entirely different kinds of candidates, entirely different priorities, entirely different social structures, entirely different economic outcomes, entirely different health outcomes, entirely different educational outcomes, entirely different deaths of despair numbers, entirely different COVID outcomes. Entirely different. This is not going to end well unless every single person who got what I just said shows up to vote. Every single one. Gerrymanders be damned, okay? When they gerrymander, they take into account the percentage of people who will vote in that district. If they get it wrong and too many people show up, guess what happens? Biden wins. Seriously.
I was out drinking with a buddy a couple days ago, and we got in a little bit of a political discussion. Really good guy, friend of mine, Steve, and he asked me earnestly, how can I make a difference? What can I do other than just vote? I said, honestly, we both know a couple people who have the right moral compass, and they just don't vote because of whatever reason. Get them to vote. Get our ne'er-do-well friends to get out there and vote. That will make a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, your ne'er-do-well friends, I know some of them. You're right. It would make a huge difference if they would just show up and vote instead of saying, oh, I was gonna, or, oh, I don't even know who to vote for. Or, oh, listen, we're backsliding. You understand? We're backsliding. We're losing the franchise. We're losing our ability to vote. This could be the very last time that everybody is able to. And then they'll want to. Then they'll say, oh, what do you mean I can't? No, you can't. You needed to vote last time. This is so... I won't say it's history repeating itself because the free states prevailed. Yes, 600,000 people had to die. We've already lost 1 million people in COVID, from COVID, for God's sake. So don't act like we didn't make a sacrifice in the first place where we don't have dead people all over the place because we were told that this disease was a hoax. We were told that. And that all you had to do was take some, hydroxychloroquine or fish food. I mean, it's so easy to fix at this point. Once it's lost, getting it back, nearly impossible. Nearly impossible. But the United States is definitely backsliding. There is no question that there are 2 different countries right now living with one government in a very uneasy alliance where their laws and the laws that should be maintained and preserve the rights are not the same. Not the same at all. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.